spent 6 months writing the book, another month formatting it, and now it sits on Amazon in 2 formats. But there is a reader who may never open either one, not because the book is wrong for them, but because they listen. Should you produce the audiobook? Maybe. Producing it blindly, though, is how authors turn a promising asset into an expensive shelf ornament. Welcome to the 22 Lions Podcast, your daily blueprint for writing, publishing, and profiting from books. Today, we're looking at the Audio Edition Profit Map. 5 decisions that help you determine whether an audiobook belongs in your business now, later, or not at all.
That last option matters. Not every title needs audio immediately. The rule I use is simple. Identify a likely listener, protect the listening experience, and know what the format is supposed to do for the business. If you cannot answer those 3 questions, pause before you spend.
Exactly. An audiobook can create another royalty stream, but it can also reach a different reader, support a series, or bring someone into your email funnel. It is not automatically profitable just because it is available. So let's start with the evidence. Look at your current readers. Have they asked for audio? Do comparable books in your category have active audio editions? Do your newsletter subscribers already listen to podcasts, lectures, or voice content? A short survey can ask 3 useful questions. Would you listen? Where would you listen? And what would make you choose the audio edition?
And compare that information with the size of the project. A 42,000-word nonfiction book might become roughly 4.5 finished listening hours. A 90,000-word book is a much larger commitment. Estimate narration, editing, proofing, mastering, cover adaptation, and launch costs before you call the project an opportunity.
That's a useful distinction. What would count as enough evidence for a small author business?
Not certainty. A reasonable signal is enough to investigate. Maybe your email list has 1,800 readers, several have requested audio, and comparable titles in your category are selling in that format. That does not guarantee results, but it justifies getting quotes and building a forecast instead of guessing.
Good. The second decision is the production model. You can narrate the book yourself, hire a professional narrator with paid production, use royalty share, or work with a team that handles recording, editing, mastering, and delivery.
Self-narration can be the right choice when your personal voice is central to the promise. But reading one chapter is not the same as sustaining a clean performance for 5 hours. Room noise, microphone distance, mouth sounds, fatigue, and inconsistent volume can all create expensive problems.
Right. The microphone exposes everything.
A professional narrator should be chosen by fit, not by the lowest quote. Listen for authority, warmth, pronunciation, pacing, and whether the voice suits the intended listener. A royalty share deal can look attractive when cash is tight, but
it is not free.
Exactly. You exchange upfront cost for a share of future economics. Review the term, territories, rights, exclusivity, delivery standards, and what happens if the project ends early. The CX may fit some titles, while wider distribution may fit others. Read the agreement before you sign it. Production quality is part of your author brand.
The third decision happens before anyone records. Make the manuscript ready for listening. Remove visual instructions that make no sense in audio. Clarify tables, numbers, URLs, footnotes, acronyms, quotations, and references to diagrams. Add pronunciation notes for names, technical terms, brands, and unfamiliar places.
And shape the performance. Chapter titles need clean transitions. Lists need a rhythm the listener can follow. A warning, joke, or pivotal idea may need tone guidance. You are not simply exporting words from a paperback. You are preparing a version that works when someone is walking, driving, or listening with their eyes closed.
Then listen to the finished files with a second set of ears. Check missing words, repeated lines, wrong pronunciations, abrupt edits, background noise, volume changes, and retailer requirements. Authors often mentally correct their own mistakes. An outside proof listener hears what the author has learned to overlook. The listener should never wonder whether the problem is in their headphones or in your production.
The fourth decision is the launch. Give the audio edition its own metadata, description, contributor details, categories, rights information, and cover treatment. Keep it recognizable beside the ebook and paperback, but follow the audio retailer's specifications.
And choose the sample like a marketer, not a file uploader. The first page may be slow or full of context. Use a passage that demonstrates the narrator, makes the promise clear, and gives the listener a reason to continue.
Then send simple messages to existing readers. Announce the edition. Share a short clip or a clear listener benefit. Follow up by showing how the audio connects to the next book, a series, or a relevant bonus. Ask for honest feedback and reviews without telling anyone what claim to make.
That is where I want to challenge you, Dan. You often talk about series read-through and email growth. Those are valuable, but if an author cannot track them, aren't they just hopeful explanations after the fact?
Fair challenge. I would track both direct and indirect signals. Audiobook sales, clicks from the sample email, sign-ups through a dedicated link, and sales of the next title over 30 or 60 days. None of those proves the audiobook caused every result, but together they give you a better decision than relying on instinct.
That's the answer. Measure enough to learn, not so much that you delay forever.
Here's a practical example. A non-fiction author had a 42,000-word backlist book and an email list of about 1,800 existing readers. A paid production quote came in at $2,400. A royalty share option required no upfront payment but gave away half of future royalties. The author did not choose based on excitement. They first confirmed listener interest, prepared the manuscript, and compared the long-term trade-off.
The manuscript also had dense lists, acronyms, and references to diagrams. So the author rewrote those passages for listening, created pronunciation notes, auditioned several narrators with the same sample, and built a 3-message launch. The improvement was not a magical sales trick. It was a better product and a clearer measurement plan.
That is the fifth decision. Connect the edition to the rest of the business. Give listeners a next step, a website, a relevant bonus, an email list, or the next book. But do not treat the funnel as a substitute for quality. A weak recording will not be rescued by clever metadata.
Here's the exact system. Use a 1-page scorecard and give yourself 1 point for each yes. You can identify a likely listener. You have category or reader evidence. You know the estimated finished hours and costs. You have a realistic production model. The manuscript is ready for listening. You understand rights and distribution. And you have a launch and measurement plan.
7 points means you can plan production now. 4 to 6 means fix the gaps first. 3 or fewer means keep the title in research mode. That is a planning heuristic, not a promise of income. If the score is low, you have not failed. You have found the next problem to solve.
Validate the listener. Choose the production model. Prepare the manuscript for the ear. Launch with accurate metadata, a strong sample, and cross-format promotion. Then measure what happens and improve the system. Your book is an asset, not a hobby, but an asset becomes valuable when the decisions around it are disciplined.
If you want help comparing narration, production, distribution, or format expansion, bring your manuscript and scorecard to 22 Lions. A professional team can help you decide whether to produce now, prepare first, or wait. Write it, publish it, profit from it, but make every step worthy of the listener.
Find the scorecard and the next step in the show notes. Then connect with 22 Lions for professional publishing and audiobook support. That's your step-by-step system for today. Apply it and watch your author business grow.
Stay hungry, stay published.
Publish like a pro. Profit like a lion.